Crossovers can be incredible when done right. Clashing two or more series together can lead to some amazing crossovers. And everyone's favorite blue hedgehog, Mario, is no stranger to crossovers. Nah, I'm not gonna say that every crossover out here is perfect, but just because you put two pieces of media a lot of people like together, doesn't always mean it's gonna end up being great. Now for Sonic, there's a lot of crossovers we can talk about, but hands down the most iconic one is the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. As many of you know, Sega and Nintendo were huge rivals back in the 90s, meaning you were either on Team Sonic or Team Mario, and that shit was gang wars. There were commercials having Sonic diss Mario and Mario diss Sonic. It was crazy, the beef was real. Tupac, Biggie, Kendrick and Drake, Sonic and Mario. However, it was clear as day who won this beef, as in 2001 they discontinued the Sega Dreamcast, the last Sega console, meaning that Sonic games were now gonna be on Nintendo consoles. How ironic. I guess if you can't beat them, join them. It was only logical for Sega to stop making consoles altogether. Plus, Sonic games sold extremely well on Nintendo consoles, with the Sonic Adventure games as well as Sonic Heroes being fan favorites on the GameCube, as well as Sonic games just going at it on the GBA. This success continued into the Wii and DS era, where we had the Sonic Rush games and the Storybook games, and people were begging Sega and Nintendo to somehow make a crossover between the two, Mario and Sonic. Former rivals, now friends. People's imaginations went wild. Could they make a crossover platformer game? Maybe even add Sonic to Mario Kart? Well, it was finally revealed on March 28th of 2007, where they first showed off the new Mario and Sonic collab, and what the f is this?
Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Why does this exist? Released in 2008 for the Nintendo Wii, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games is probably the last thing you'd expect from Mario and Sonic's first official crossover. It's an odd idea, pitting the two iconic series against each other in the Olympics, but surprisingly, the game was pretty fun and generated tons of sequels, portable versions, and even had full story modes, and some mobile games. Given that the main editions of these games were released on the Wii, you can bet that the sports here are motion control fodder. But I don't know, there's just a charm to these games. Sure, shaking the Wii remote a bunch can be monotonous, the events here have just enough depth to make them fun to play, but also to master. While you can't just stick to the traditional sports here, the bulk of the experience, and what sets these games apart from other minigame collections, are the dream events. In the first game, these aren't anything special, just upgraded versions of some of the base sports with a couple of items to spice them up. But the next game, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games, really stepped up their game. Alongside all the normal events, each dream event here is themed after Mario or Sonic. You can snowboard through Radical Highway, ski jump in Good Egg Galaxy, play ice hockey in Bowser's Castle, or even bobsleigh in the Sonic Heroes special stage. The dream events are what gave the spin-off series its own identity. Even with all these cool features though, the series has been pretty hit or miss with quality. While the last entry on Wii, London 2012, is widely considered to be the best in the whole series, the sequels on Wii U leave a lot to be desired. Sochi 2014 and Rio 2016 just took a nosedive in gameplay. The graphics and polish were still there, but the events just weren't up to snuff with the offerings on Wii. Luckily, Tokyo 2020 returned the series to its former glory, even including a full-fledged story mode reminiscent of the handheld games. Ultimately though, the Olympics pulled the rights from Sega, effectively killing any future Mario and Sonic entries. It's a shame to see such a charming little spin-off series just end all of a sudden. But, if anything, I hope this can pave the way for a proper Mario and Sonic crossover game in the future.
Honestly, Nintendo, Sega, give it to us now. A 3D platformer game, or even a 2D one, between these two legends would be amazing. But that's not the only time Mario and Sonic have crossed over, as in 2007, he was introduced in
Super Smash Bros., the biggest gaming crossover series of all time, with fighters from several different game franchises. But Sonic, being one of the first third-party characters to get introduced, was a huge moment for gaming as a whole. His inclusion in Super Smash Bros. Brawl was just kind of symbolic of how far the rivalry between Sega and Nintendo has come. But even before this happened, Sonic was a highly rumored character to be added to Smash Melee, and there was even this April Fool's joke put into the Electronic Gaming Monthly magazine, giving you these absurd instructions on how to unlock Sonic and Tails in the game. But of course, we wouldn't actually see Sonic get added until Brawl. But even though he's been included in every Smash Bros. Game since, he hasn't really changed much. His moveset has always been pretty generic, just consisting of different variations of the spin dash. I also find it weird how there's never been another fighter from the Sonic series. Since Brawl, it's just been Sonic. We've gotten Mii costumes and assist trophies from the series, but no other playable fighters. Regardless, Sonic's inclusion in Smash remains as one of the craziest moments in gaming history. And who knows, maybe in the next Smash game, whenever that's coming out,
I'm actually on the phone with Masahiro Sakurai right now, he's saying tomorrow
you'll see some more Sonic representation.
tomorrow. Okay, I think we've been talking enough about console crossovers. It's time to talk about mobile games. Everyone's favorite. More specifically, the crossover events for Sonic Dash, which there's actually a lot of. There was Angry Birds, there was Pac-Man, and that's about it.
Are you sure you're not forgetting something?
No, not really. I don't think I am.
I don't know, bro. If we're talking about Sonic Dash, the most important crossover has got to be
No, Temzy, I'm not talking about that
the
one.
Sonic Dash and Hello Kitty collab.
You just opened the floodgates, my friend. I guess we gotta talk about it now.
What do you mean we?
Wait, Temzy, bro, don't leave.
Have fun talking about Hello Kitty. Temzy out.
Yo, bro, come back. Yo, fine. I'll do it myself. Sonic Dash is a 2013 mobile game. I used to play this game all the time when I was a kid. My father used to have an iPhone 7. I played it all the time on there. Another one of my favorite mobile games was Angry Birds, and I guess it was many people's favorite mobile game too, as it ended up crossing over with Sonic Dash, with Red, Chuck, and Bomb getting added into Sonic Dash's playable characters, as well as Sonic getting added in Angry Birds Epic. This is crossbreeding at its finest. We also got Pac-Man in the game along with a Ghost and Miss Pac-Man. We got a little android robot. I don't know his name and I don't want to find out. I be on iPhone. We got Bongo from the Animals. Who invited this guy? But alas, we got Hello Kitty characters in Sonic Dash, alongside this adorable Hello Kitty plushie dressed as Sonic. So cute. You can buy it right now for the low price of Jesus Christ. That is a mortgage. What the 4 Hello Kitty characters got added into Sonic Dash? Those being Hello Kitty herself, My Melody, this penguin guy whose name I can't pronounce, and Choco Cat. What a cool name. These Sonic Dash crossovers were pretty cool. The game has gotten updated so many times that in the most recent version of the game, you can't even play as the Angry Birds or Hello Kitty, not even Danimals. What even is the point anymore? These characters may be gone from the game, but they'll never be forgotten. Wait, what do you mean they put the Angry Birds in Sonic Forces?
Sonic Lost World is definitely a game that, well, you can play. But did you know that there's actually a reason why people still talk about this game other than wanting to bang the green girl, whatever her name is? No, you see, there's actually some cool DLC that came out for this game. On December 18, 2013, SEGA dropped the Yoshi's Island Zone DLC, which was a brand new, obviously, Yoshi-themed level. It's pretty interesting actually, being one of the few times Mario and Sonic crossovered, which is not taking place at the Olympic event. Kinda weird if you think about it, so don't. There was also a Zelda theme level called, you'll never guess, The Legend of Zelda Zone. This one is a bit more interesting, as not only is there more detail in this level, but also Sonic has this cool Link drip, which sucks we never see him wear it that often. What am I talking about, that often? He's never worn this again after this. But you know what, for what they were, these DLCs were pretty cool because, well, they were free. They could be the most trash-ass level, but just because they're free, shit, that's a pretty good deal to me. But because they released on the Wii U eShop, which is now closed, these are basically lost media. Forever. Damn, that low-key sucks. Plus the fact that SEGA will probably never do this again. Well, who knows, maybe they will. But this was definitely an interesting part of Sonic history. Hopefully they do stuff like this more often in the future. And yeah. Bye.
Announced around late 2024, it was confirmed that Sonic the Hedgehog and DC would have a giant multimedia collaboration in 2025. Currently, the only media we've seen from this is the comic crossover, which at the time of recording is only 2 issues long. But for what we have so far, I think there's an incredibly promising story on our hands. It starts off with Darkseid randomly dropping on the map the day Little Planet makes its yearly appearance through a wormhole in dimensions, and sadly, he's not here for Victory Royale. By the way, when are they adding Sonic to Fortnite? Instead, he's just looking for the Chaos Emeralds and causing pandemonium. Now it's up to the Sonic Gang and the Justice League to get the Emerald and stop Darkseid from destroying both Sonic's world and DC's. I really love the art in this issue. Everybody looks phenomenal, and the art style for the Sonic characters especially looks really good. I think if we ever got new models, I'd love them to be based on this. I also love the dynamics between the characters. Sonic and the Flash have really fun banter. Shadow and Batman have a nearly perfect talk that I won't get into, but it links their tragedies together in a really interesting way. The second issue has a lot of really fun fights and moments. I really like the Batman and Shadow versus Steppenwolf fight where we see Shadow show off being the ultimate life form. I also like the planet splitting apart like an Unleashed. Hey, any reference to the GOAT is fine by me.
Sonic Unleashed enjoyers, spam that W in the chat.
The issue ends with both the Justice League characters and Team Sonic take on Darkseid, where the universe unravels and the Justice League sacrifice themselves to get Team Sonic to the DC universe, where it's revealed that the entire Sonic universe and everything in it is destroyed. Everything and everyone in it is dead. We might not have the full story yet, but if things continue the way they are, this might be a crossover really worth remembering.
I just read issue 3 and oh my god, Sonic defeated Reverse Flash. This is peak.
Next up, we have the Sonic the Hedgehog add-on in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Released in June of 2021, the add-on basically plops you in the world of Sonic. You start off in an area that teaches you how to use the controls, and then sends you on your way into the main hub area, Tails' lab. There are tons of references here. We can see Wisps, the Tornado 2, Broken Badniks, Dumb and Dumber, the list goes on and on. If you bounce in the spring towards the middle of Tails' lab, it takes you to an area where you can change your character. You can only start by playing as Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, but by playing the levels you can unlock more characters and they'll be up here in this little area. Speaking of the levels, well, there are 4 levels in this game: Green Hill Zone, Chemical Plant Zone, Sky Sanctuary Zone, and Labyrinth Zone. Each of these levels are made to resemble their respective zones from the game. Now, how do these levels play? Well, honestly, they feel a little broken, especially if you play as a fast character like Sonic or Shadow. Their speed and the bumpy terrain make this game feel really slippery and jittery. So if you're a fan of Sonic Heroes, you'll absolutely love this game. Also, when a character transitions from jogging speed to their top speed, it happens in an instant, it isn't gradual, so if you love Sonic Forces, then you're going to love this game. After playing as most of the characters, I would recommend playing as Tails since he isn't nearly as fast or as slippery as Sonic and Shadow are. There's an achievement board to see what achievements you can get in this game, and each achievement unlocks a little Chow that runs around Tails' lap. By right-clicking on a Chow, they make a little sound and their emotion ball changes to a heart, which is just super cute in my opinion. But what if you just wanted to see the Chow? What if you don't care about anything else except for the Chow? Well, by pressing the shift or crouch button while looking at this painting on the left, you're transported into the Chow Garden. Overall, it's a fun little adventure, but it's not something I find myself coming back to that often. Unless it's to pet the Chow, because they are so adorable!
Sonic has had some fantastic collaborations over the years, but what if Sonic, get this, collab with one of the coolest franchises of all time? That's right, I'm talking about Transformers. As ridiculous as it sounds, we got a Transformers collab with Sonic in the form of toys.
They're not toys, they're action figures, Mom. Here we got Tails, he transforms into the Tornado, that's pretty cool, and here we got Sonic. He transforms into the Speed Star from Sonic and All-Stars Racing. The designs are pretty slick, I'm not gonna lie.
While it isn't very exciting in complete honesty, what's exciting is the possibilities. Because honestly, a collaboration between Transformers and Sonic the Hedgehog would be amazing. Now, I myself am a massive Transformers fan if you couldn't tell. After watching all 5 Bayverse movies with my dad and realizing how stupidly fun this franchise is, I just can't stop anymore. And I've been watching pretty much every show and movie available in the franchise and getting many video games. So combining 2 of some of my favorite franchises would be just amazing, and I would absolutely love for that to happen, and there you go, it actually happened. But I really hope it goes more than just toys. We've clearly seen that SEGA and Hasbro are able to collaborate on a Sonic and Transformers collaboration. Now, what I want is for us to go a little bit higher and not stop just at toys. I want to see something more substantial, like for example some tie-in comics. IDW does both Transformers comics and Sonic comics. So what's to say we're not getting a Transformers and Sonic collab in the form of comic books quite soon? But even that isn't enough for me. I kind of want Transformers and Sonic to do something awesome. I want there to be some sort of DLC or some sort of actually good thing come out of this collaboration. Because I don't want just toys or just comic books or just something as simple as that. I want more.
Yo, isn't that asking a little too much?
Maybe. But then again, if you asked me last year if Transformers and Sonic would collaborate, I would absolutely say no. And yet here we are.
Nonetheless, at least we have these figures. They look pretty cool. I might pick them up. Oh my god, what is that price?
Okay, KO, let's meet Sonic. Okay, KO, let's get started. During the years 2018 and 2019, OKKO Let's Be Heroes was one of my favorite cartoons on Cartoon Network at the time, as well as other cartoons like Regular Show and The Amazing World of Gumball. It was also around 2019 where I started loving the Sonic franchise a lot more and I started becoming even more of a Sonic fan over time. So when I saw the teaser for the crossover drop on July 2019, like genuinely I was flipping in my seat, like I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And the episode would drop on the day even before my birthday, so it would even make for a cool birthday present even. So for what I can recall, I actually enjoyed the episode a lot. And for this video, I actually rewatched the episode back, and let's just say that some of my opinions about the episode have changed. First off, this entire episode is just references galore. Like, we got character references like Cream Knuckles and Eggman, iconic poses. We even have references to music from the games like Emerald Coast and, oh gosh, the dreadful drowning theme.
Truly one of the scariest sounds in all of gaming.
As for the plot, Sonic bursts into the bodega in search of chili dogs, but KO gets jebaited by Darrell, which is, you know, the red robot guy, and now teams up with Sonic and Tails to go rescue his friends Rad and Eden. Simple, but very good for a simple episode. It's an okay plot for a good episode, you know what I mean? I do have some gripes though. The way Sonic is portrayed here is flipping abysmal. Like, is actually atrocious. There were many times in this episode where I just thought to myself, this guy's a jerk. And I kid you not, sometimes I even yelled out loud, shut up, whenever he started glazing himself. The glaze KO was given Sonic was like unruly, unfathomable, despicable even, which was kind of funny to witness, not gonna lie to you. Tails got the short end of the stick here. He was shoved to the side so many times this entire episode. Quite literally, when I say this, they even made a reference to how Tails respawns when he comes off screen, which was very funny to see, I'm not gonna lie to you. He was really oozing with player 2 syndrome here, which is just the wrong portrayal of Tails in general, but whatever. Tails is the one who actually helps KO learn the spin dash to save his friends and actually drives the episode forward. He is the one who actually keeps everything moving. Tails is actually like the star of the show here. It was very nice seeing Tails' backstory pulled up to help KO envision his goal to overcome the loop-de-loop, which is very nice. I'm glad they delved into that. The action scene where Sonic and Meta KO is very Sonic CD DNA. Like, they even referenced a Sonic OVA moment when Metal KO was sinking, which was a very nice touch, because that was a really good moment in the Sonic OVA too. But overall, this episode was actually pretty decent. I actually didn't think it was that bad now that I think about it.
I find that kind of cute how Sonic did a crossover with another Cartoon Network show, since episodes of Sonic Boom used to air on Cartoon Network. I don't know, I just find that kind of neat.
Hey guys, Silver here, and I thought I'd stop by real quick to talk about Sonic's crossover appearances in my two other favorite SEGA franchises, Puyo Puyo and Super Monkey Ball.
Oh right, I love Monkey Balls.
Puyo Puyo is a Japanese puzzle game where witches and magicians battle using Puyos, which are these gummy-like balls, and Super Monkey Ball is a platformer where you roll monkeys inside a ball collecting bananas. You know, now that I think about it, Sonic curls into a ball too. Maybe I just like balls. But anyways, when it comes to Puyo Puyo, since it's actually Sonic Team that makes a lot of the games, Sonic was bound to appear in them. Starting off with some Japanese exclusive collaborations, we have Sonic having several events in Puyo Puyo Quest, which is a mobile gacha game from Japan, and these collabs include both Sonic characters in the Puyo Puyo art style, as well as Puyo characters like Amity and Ringo dressed up as Sonic and Shadow. But as for another Japanese exclusive collab, there was a crossover event between Puyo Puyo Quest and Sonic Runners, rest in peace.
Alright, you just had to remind me of Sonic Runners, I miss you so much.
But this crossover featured a story where Eggman teams up with the Puyo Puyo main antagonist Dark Prince, also known as Satan in Japan, which means Eggman's canonically worked with the devil.
Huh? What?
Which means Eggman's canonically worked with the devil.
Yeah, I heard you, but like, what? Let's think about this for a second. Eggman has worked with Satan.
This collab also featured an unlockable Amy skin where she wears Amity's outfit, which looks really cute. Now those are just Japan exclusive crossovers, but in the rest of the world, Sega's been localizing recent Puyo games like Puyo Puyo Tetris, Puyo Puyo Champions, and Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. And Sonic content is featured in all three of these. For all three games, there are skins for the Puyos where each color is replaced with heads of Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Amy, Chao, and even Silver is represented as one of the Tetris pieces. But when it comes to Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, Sonic himself is actually a playable character and features voice acting as well as Sonic chain animations, where with one of them he even turns into Super Sonic. Moving on to Super Monkey Ball, the past few years have been a bit of a revival for the series, which started with Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD, a remaster of the Wii game, and in this remaster, as a bonus for beating the main game, you unlock Classic Sonic as a playable character, and when you play as him, the bananas are replaced with rings. But that didn't stop there, as not only is Classic Sonic playable in Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, which is a remake of the original GameCube games, but Classic Tails is also playable, and look how adorable he is. Recently, we also got a brand new original game called Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble. This game adds even more Sonic characters, as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy are all playable, and Aya even has a costume of Shadow, much like how Classic Sonic had a costume of Shadow in Superstars. The downside to all of this content though is that instead of these characters being unlockable like the last two games, you have to buy them as DLC in Banana Rumble.
Yo, guess who's back? Back again.
Yo, Tim, where'd you even go, man? Video's basically over.
I was here the whole time, bruv. What are you on about?
This video is only scratching the surface, so if you want to see a part 2 talking about even more crossovers with more people from the Sonic community, then let me know down below which YouTubers you would like to see on a part 2. There's a whole lot more crossovers to talk about and even more to come, like the Mega Man and Sonic crossover comic, the many Sonic and All-Stars Racing collaborations, Lego Dimensions, and of course the upcoming Sonic Racing Crossworlds, which is not out yet, but apparently the crossovers are gonna be crazy, like SpongeBob, Ninja Turtles, and and even more after release because there's gonna be DLC and all. So all that stuff is very exciting. A part 2 is definitely open for possibility. The possibilities are endless. Either way, thank you so much for everyone who participated in this video. You guys are great. Go subscribe to their channels, and special thanks to you for watching the video. And as always, what are you guys still doing here? Video's over. Go on.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? I don't know. Maybe you want to put this at the end, like right at the end. It'll be funny.